you listen to it is the way you're ultimately going to talk. So whenever you get anything to read, you just need to make sure that you are reading it a little aloud for you to listen to yourself. You're audible enough, not shouting, but then you're audible enough so that whatever you're reading, you're able to judge whether the pace is good, whether the projection is good, whether the pitch is good, whether the pause is good. So all these four parameters of reading a passage or intonation. We did intonation in the other class. That is the pitch, pause, pace, and projection in the previous class. So in these four aspects, when you're reading a passage, all these parts of speech, these 8 parts of speech, has a very integral part. So they're all interlinked. So I won't make these, this grammar class. I'll try and make it a little interesting, but otherwise, the very sound of grammar you find like, that grammar. We never liked it. I don't know for whatever reason, but we like stories. So I'm going to start telling you a story. Okay, anything that we see around us, anything and everything that you can view, you can talk about, you can touch, you can it's noun. For example, computer, mobile, uh, anything that's naming, you can name it. It's a noun. That's it. It's very simple. So we are surrounded by nouns. Okay. Then we have pronoun. Now, the pronoun is a very beautiful aspect of English language. Now, I'm going to deviate a little bit from the generic grammar rules, and I'm going to make you understand how pronoun has a very personal link to our personality. If you're a person who likes to talk about somebody else who is not there in front of you, you're basically a gossip monger. Okay, so we use he, she. We are talking about Katrina Kaif, who we don't even know her. We talk about Modi. I mean, like as if he's some next door neighbor or something like that. So we keep talking about a third party. Even it can be a colleague, or it can be a manager, it can be somebody who's closely associated with us, or an aunt, or anybody for that matter. So when you are talking about somebody, watch the words that you use. Are you using a lot of third person singular? He, she, it, him, her, his, hers, himself, herself. Are you using these? Then you're a person who likes to gossip. Even plural, third person plural, they, them, their, theirs, themselves, and themselves. Okay. So these are third person plural. Now, for example, you meet somebody at a party. You meet somebody new. You must have come across so many characters in your life already, and they keep saying, oh, my father, my great grandfather, he was like a big land owner. He had so much of acres of land, and he used to have so many people working for him. He was the dada of this area. So when somebody goes on bragging like this, do you feel interested to listen to him? No, you don't feel interested to listen to him anymore, because he uses a lot of first person singular. I, me, mine, myself. Every time when somebody says, my family, mine, this is my car. When somebody goes on bragging, you are disconnected with that person because he uses a lot of I. Now, in management team, when you're working in an organization, the best leadership skills that is actually shown, or it is valued when you use we instead of I. I am your leader. I am your coach. I am this. I am that. Instead of that, hey, let's do this together. Hey, can we get this ready? So whenever you use we, that's first person plural, we, us, ours, ourselves, more about team building, team spirit, unity, oneness, coordination, cooperation, support, and there's a harmony within ourselves. But when I say how do you feel? Hey, I am from Bangalore. I lived all my life in Bangalore. I also went abroad. So if I go on bragging, the next day you'll not even attend my class. Okay, so now, let me ask you, why are you interested in my class? I usually ask about you. Hey, how was your day? How was it? Oh, really? What happened to you? Is everything okay? So you know what happens when you're talking in the second person plural? That's the other person. You're asking and putting that other person's interest in the first as a first priority. They seem interested. Hey, what happened? Your mom was not well. Is she okay now? So you feel, wow, this person remembers. My God, how sweet. You get touched. You feel good. You feel like, not this person is such a big caliber. According to you, he or she might be in a very big esteem in your eyes. And when that person comes, just touches your heart or cord by just saying a very simple sentence, hey, how's everything going at home front? Is everything okay? You're okay? All right, you're doing well, you're enjoying yourself. All these are like asking about your comfort zone and asking about your welfare, interested in you, knowing that, yeah, you're doing all right. So whenever you start a conversation, do not, okay, now there's another thing. When you're in the cop station, they will ask you, what did you do? What did you, now that is not very interesting, okay? It's more like accusation. Okay, so, hey, where were you? What did you do? Why did you come? Why did you? Okay, that you is anything but pleasant, but I'm talking on a general scenario. Whenever you start a conversation, you need to ask yourself, okay, so I think I lost, huh? So basically, whenever a person you meet in the senior level and your colleagues or somebody asks about you, you feel good, you feel nice, you feel important, you're wanted, you're special, you're not just another brick in the wall, you mean something to them. So pronouns has a very integral kind of importance in our personality. Now you need to ask yourself, or when you're talking next time, are you talking in which person? Third person? Is it good? No. Gossiping? No. You'd rather open up your mobile and read something interesting there, read the newspaper or hear the updates. That also says he, she only. Anyways. All right. Are you talking? You don't have the habit of talking you, empathizing, or are you concerned? Make it an effort. If you're not, then you can probably start making an effort to talk in the second person. Now, the second person, both plural and singular and plural are the same. You, your, yours, yourself. Okay, you, your, yours, yourself. Except for yourselves. Only yourselves will be a plural. But otherwise, if I'm talking to you singular, one person, I say you. If I'm talking to an audience or a mass or a gathering, I still say you. More than one person also, it is you. Okay, now that's about noun, that's about pronoun. Now let's come to adverb. Okay, coming to verb. Verb is nothing but an action. It basically tells you what action is happening at that moment. Anything that you're doing, even thinking, is an act. Sleeping, doing nothing is also an acting. It's when somebody will ask you, hey, what are you doing? Our first answer is nothing. But that nothing is itself something. So eating, drinking, standing, sleeping, reading, writing, listening, watching, observing, anything that involves an action is basically a verb. Now, what is an adjective? Adjective is nothing but describing a noun. Describing a noun, oh, it adds meaning to a noun. Beautiful. An adjective also usually has an opposite. Thin, fat, dark, light, heavy, light, then thin, thick, beautiful, ugly, handsome, ugly, beautiful. Then you have dark, fair, anything. Oh, the flower is so beautiful. Oh, this is such a pathetic flower. Not good. It's nice. This one smells nice. Oh, this one stinks. So usually an adjective has opposites. Not necessarily though, but otherwise the adjective is basically something that describes a noun. Okay. And then we have adverb. What is an adverb? Adverb is nothing but It describes a noun, a pronoun, a verb, an adjective, and another adverb. Now, usually the words ending with ly, they're all adverb, but not necessarily. Now, for example, she walks fast. Okay, fast is adjective. Now, very fast. So you will become, very will become adverb. She sang beautifully. That's an adverb. Ending with ly. That's an adverb. And she sang so beautifully, I can't tell you. So the word so becomes an adverb describing another adverb. Okay? So you have different kinds of adverb also, but these are the basic things that you need to know. You just need to know pronoun, verb, noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb. Whenever you're reading a paragraph, you have to emphasize on these five aspects of the given passage. Okay, whenever you're getting a passage. I think in the previous class I have given 2-3 passages. They're very interesting. I think you must be knowing, you must have read that paragraph. Anyways, I'll just read out a little bit of it. This is the paragraph that we read in the previous class. Learning to say no gracefully. So I think I should just open. Okay. Can you read this paragraph? Learning to say no gracefully. Can you see? No, wait a minute. Okay, now you see this paragraph that I've shown here. Learning to say no gracefully. Can you all see this? Yeah. Antonia Sareng, can you see the paragraph that I'm sharing? Antonia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you can see. Okay, fine. Okay. All right. You can mute yourself, please. Okay. So just listen to me. See, you have adjective, you have verb, adjective, every adjective or request, noun, your pronoun, time, noun, when, again, time, the article, priorities, noun, life, your life, unclear. Okay. So adjective, life. Now, here you have it, is, to, on, the, of, life. Okay. Now, these are all coming under prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, and you have also articles. Okay. So it's not necessary for you to stress on these words. It is, to, on, the, of, are. Okay. Why? Because they don't carry much meaning. But easy carries meaning. It tells you how it was hard or difficult. Say, verb, yes or no, again, adjective, every, okay, noun, not too sure exactly what's that. Request, verb, request, your pronoun. Okay, so it is easy to say yes to every request on your time when the priorities of life are unclear. Now, that's one way of reading the sentence. You can also say, it is easy to say yes to every request on your time when the priorities of your life are unclear. So when you read the way I just read, that means you're emphasized on every word very nicely, clearly, but then has no meaning. You're not giving any meaning or emphasis into the sentence, but you're projecting what exactly you want to say. But when you intonate, when you pitch, when you project, when you pause, it is easy to say yes to every request on your time when the priorities of your life are unclear. So when you emphasize only on the words which is really important, then you'll understand that this is what carries meaning. This is the message that I want to give. So when you say aloud, when you read aloud like this, and when you practice at home, reading sentence. Now, how will you read? You just have to put one dot on these words. E, just put a dot on top of E. On top of S, put a dot. On Y, put a dot. On E, put a dot. Why? Because we have mother tongue influence. So most of us, we put emphasize on the second part of the syllabus. It is easy to say yes to every request on your time when the priorities of your life are unclear. So instead of saying this, how will you get over your paragraph? So it's simple is take a printout or write it in a notebook, write at least 5 sentences here from this passage, which is already given to you. You underline it is to on underline all these words which does not need to be emphasized. Underline it. That means under. Do not let it be undertone. What needs to be highlighted? Put a dot on top of that. Okay, especially the first letter of all the words. I mean, this is how we can kickstart your reading skills. So when you will put a dot, you will stress on that dot. It is easy to say yes to every request on your time when the priorities of your life are unclear. Okay, so you listen nicely, you will listen clearly, you will listen perfectly. So what happens is you will speak clearly. Yes, I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm doing fantastic. How about you? So, I'm not trying to say that there is a sing-song effect, but there's a peppiness in your voice, which makes the person who is actually listening to your conversation a little interested. So, I'm going to tell you how the noun, pronoun, adjective, adverb, and the verb has an impact in your passage. Okay, so this is how the grammar will be applied to you in your daily life. You need to emphasize on noun. Why? Because it tells who, what, where, when, why, who's, why. Okay, it will tell pronoun, who is personal or first person or second person or third person, singular or plural. It tells you again, gives you meaning, which is very important. Then you have verb, the action. What was done? Was it sleeping or standing or running or eating or doing nothing or thinking or just idling around? What was it doing? Then you have adjective. How was he doing? Whatever he was doing, beautifully, in an ugly manner, in a pathetic manner, and in a nice manner, very attractive manner, absolutely miraculously beautiful. So you have so many words to emphasize on how exactly the action was carried out. In which manner? Adverb will tell in which manner. Was it very fast? Was it slow or extreme? Which kind of how extreme it was. Okay. So these 5 gives a lot of information to the sentence. Now there is other finer rules to it, but for me, I don't think so. You should get into that much of a detail for your requirement at this moment. I mean, like if I have to go, then you have so many, details, verb, transitive, intransitive verb, and so many things. So we are not going to be facing an examination. Our basic thing is to make sure that we speak in a right manner. Once we speak, and if it is required, you can always refer to Wren and Martin book, which is the mother of all the grammar. We all refer to Wren and Martin right from our school days. So, okay. So we just need to make sure that we are practicing what is required for our need as of today. Okay, so this much of grammar, if you're able to understand, And if this much you're able to use, fantastic. You can go into much deeper. But of course, like I'll tell you a story about one saint, okay? Well, one common man, he comes up to the saint and then he says, oh, I want to learn this. I want to learn Zen. I want to learn this and I want to learn that. So this monk, he says that, please empty your cup. Okay, I'll just cut it down for you. Now you go to a house. This monk, I think he gave him a cup of. He invited him for a cup of tea. Okay, or somebody asked you to come for a cup of tea, and you see, this monk went on pouring the tea uh, into the glass, into the cup. Okay, he went on pouring the tea into that cup, and that cup started overflowing. It started spilling into the saucer, and it started messing around. Okay, so this little fellow, or maybe it is you in your case, you'll be wondering why. Why is can't you see? He's such a stupid fellow. He can't see that this cup is already full. So the monk went and said, see, any information that you have already, have you used it? Have you given it away? Have you taught even one person? Have you shared your knowledge with another person? Because it's already full. Your mind is so full of knowledge that if anything new will come, you'll not be able to accept it, grasp it, or learn it. Why? Because you have not you have not emptied what you've learned. Even if you learn something today, write it in a sheet of paper, or you share it with a friend, you tell it to your family members, oh, I learned this, or teach somebody, become a tutor. And how you'll remember stuff, in the olden days, we had this Gurukula system. We had no pens and papers those days. We just had sand, and that was and today, if you actually see some of the kids' books, it is a little sand effect. They say it is helping in them in their neurosensory development and things like that, because the sand has certain fine grains in it, and that activates a certain tip of your fingertips, and that stimulates your brain for learning. But those days, in our olden times, the earlier Gurukula system, all these guys used to write in the sand. It said aha, and all that. And another thing they did was only being oral and vocal. So one person would, if the teacher had some kind of a meeting, or if he had to go in to answer the nature's call, or if he had to just go out for a minute or anything, he will ask the senior student to take over. Now the senior student had to remember everything for him to now. He doesn't have books or copies, so he had to refresh his mind. He'll attend and he'll start saying the same thing. In fact, in the music class, nobody went to sa re. Where if it's a note of re, nobody went to re until and unless you had the variations of sa for years, for months together, for hours together. They only said sa, okay, like that. But today we want to learn sa, pa, ga. We want to learn everything. Maybe hip hop, rock, and we want to learn Carnatic. We want to learn semi-classical. Everything we want to learn. But when it comes to input, yes, input, lot of input. What about output? All right. In one of the motivational videos I was watching a couple of days ago, I saw this guy who was giving a very beautiful speech. And then he said, which I really like, one thing he said, all input, okay. Even one bad output is better than no output. For example, you've been learning something and you are not ready to share it just because you're afraid that it's not going to be perfect, then you will never, ever become perfect in your life. Even a bad, like for example, you watched how to make a gobi Manchurian. Wow. I mean, like at the end of the day, I'm talking about gobi. I'm so hungry. Anyway, so, you learned on the YouTube channel, because today everything is available on the YouTube. You just have to click. You don't need a tutor. It's like, but yes, we need to bind ourselves and say, yes, I need a tutor who can, guide me and give me all this information. Probably you might not get in one class, but yes. So, you have this information about making a gobi Manchurian on the YouTube channel, and you go and you make. What's the first thing? Do you only watch the YouTube channel and switch it off? No, you will try to prepare it. Even if it's a bad outcome, you will share it with somebody. Otherwise, you'll eat it by yourself. Like, no, yeah, first time I've tried, let me not make a fool of myself. Let me share it with somebody. And once you get an appraisal, they say, wow, then, you feel good. Okay, now you're not going to sit and make it for the rest of your life. You're going to try another one variation. Okay, chili gobi Manchurian. Okay, this is Chinese gobi Manchurian. You'll have so many varieties of it that you just specialize in gobi Manchurian. I'm just giving an example. So a terrible output is better than no output, believe me or not. So from my classes, if you are learning and listening and not using outside, you're not opening up your mouth and you're saying, no, no, after I become perfect, I'll speak, it will never happen. Okay, so I'll tell you another thing. Today, I'm able to speak to you. Any question you ask, I'm able to answer. Of course, there are certain things that I might not still know. I'm still learning, But then when I started as a teacher, first day, when I would pray, believe me or not, before every class, I'm telling you this honestly, trust to God, I swear to God, believe me or not, every class, okay, I was graduation, I completed my graduation, and my English was very nice, fantastic English. But when I went to class, I had this butterflies. I'm like, I used to feel my stomach used to churn. And I had 2 minutes of prayer just before going to class. And I would say to God, God, just enable me to teach nicely. Any questions these kids will ask, help me to answer them. Okay. So every class I went, I had this 2 minutes. And whenever anybody will ask me a question, I would be like, okay, if I know the answer, I'll feel very good. And the only question all these kids would ask, see, when I say kids, believe me or not, I used to teach foreigners. I used to teach a lot of non-English speaking foreigners English. So they are 18, 19, 20 years like all of you. And they'll come in a batch and they will learn, they will not even know how to write ABC. Believe me or not, they'll not even know how to learn ABC. They'll leave their country, they'll come to this particular place. I was in Bangalore that time. And they will come to learn ABC, okay? To conversational English. They're sent by embassies and they are here to learn English within a short span of 3 months, 6 months. And they go back, they attempt an exam and they get the government job. It can be into engineering, to doctor. It can vary. But then the basic skill required for them to get selected was to speak English. Now, UK and US was very expensive for them to afford. So the next cheapest country and cheapest place for them to learn in the same caliber was Bangalore in India, not even Mumbai or Delhi, Bangalore. So, I was in Bangalore. I happened to be one of their trainers. Believe me or not, these people used to come in batches. Some batches were 20 of them, some were only two. And the only question, they wouldn't know a word of English, but they know only one word they know. Why? So if I will teach them A, B, C, A is a vowel, they'll tell teacher why. Okay, you understanding English is one thing, but to explain to the other person was another thing. And that's when I used to think that how to teach this, okay? And I used to have this feeling, believe me or not, I used to say, if you can't convince somebody, confuse them. And I used to always end up confusing them. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And I used to laugh. But the best thing about my learning, I'm sharing this with you guys, okay, which doesn't happen today, is I used to laugh at my mistakes. I used to accept my mistake. I used to go back to my friends because, it's embarrassing if somebody will point out your mistake. It's going to be feeling so, you feel so egoistic and your ego will hurt. So before somebody will point it out, what I used to do is like, I would share it during the coffee time. And that's when I started drinking coffee, okay? I used to go to the faculty's room and I say, hey, this student asked this question and I answered this. So we used to have a brainstorming session and then we used to, interact and we used to have fun. And I would confess my mistakes in a very nice manner that everybody will laugh. So it was a feel good factor. But today people think, oh, he laughed. He made fun of me. Your ego will get hurt. You don't feel good, right? So before somebody will point out your mistake, accept it, acknowledge and applaud it and say, okay, not bad. Yeah, I made a mistake. Okay, now next time I will do. So you know what I mean to say is like, even 1%, if you put 0.1, it's good. You have learned so much in my class in the past 10 days. So many days you have been here with me since last month. Even if you've put one sentence, if you've made an effort, irrespective of the outcome of, whether the person laughed at you or acknowledged or looked at you or sneered at you or sneered at you or scowled at you, believe me or not, it's a big, big, big achievement for you. That's what I said. Never be afraid of making an effort, whatever little you know. So in this other motivational video I saw, I said that a bad outcome is better than no outcome. So in the same way, you all have this input. You all have got so much of input. So coming back to the cup of coffee, this monk was going on pouring the tea in the cup, and the cup was overflowing. Then the guy who was there, the sadhak or the stranger who went to approach this monk, he asked him, "Why are you overflowing the cup?" That's what the monk said. The senior monk said, You already are overflowing with so much of knowledge. What are you doing with that? Share it. Share it with your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, somebody who needs it. Then, when you come to learn, you'll be able to learn more nicely because you know the importance of it. Okay. Another one question I'll ask you. Where do you see yourself from today? Another 5 years. This is one of the common questions. Believe me or not, you will want to be rich, you will want to be famous, you will want a lot of money, you want to be, you want to have the best of the cars and the best of the gadgets and all that. But I'll tell you something. If you'll still not be learning then, you will never go ahead in life. You should always be a learner. And learner, did you ever imagine that you're going to learn English online? Never. Never you thought. Neither ever I thought. But today I'm teaching English, but on online form. I'm talking to you as if I'm talking to you in person. I'm like, I need to stay connected. I'm telling you stories as if you're there, literally in front of me. I have to imagine that, yes, you're listening to me no matter how bored you are, or, keep you going with me. So we should be equipped with one thing, that is open to learning. If you're not open to learning, believe me or not, you will never be able to go ahead in life. Another important thing is that there is a time for learning. You can earn money. You can earn a lot of money. Okay, today there are lots of people in this world who have got a lot of money, but they're not able to learn. Okay, some people, they have self-learned. Okay, good, excellent. Some people, even when they're sent, they don't, they're sent to the best of the schools and all. No, they don't learn. Okay, there's a mind block. No, I'm already going to fail before this thing. No, that's not the way it's going to happen. You need to just learn today. Do your best. Open up yourself. Give an attempt. You might fail. It's okay. You don't have to be, a successful person all the time. It's okay if people will laugh at you. It is just a temporary phase. Believe me or not, it's not going to be permanent. Nothing in this world is permanent. So if somebody laughed at you, somebody hurt you, somebody made fun of you, somebody mocked at you, somebody hurt your ego, somebody told this, somebody said that, oh God, after 2 days, you'll be like, what was that I got so angry about? Why was that I got so worked up all about? Okay? So you'll be wondering, or you'll be laughing at yourself. Anyways, now applying that to this paragraph, you need to make sure that you give a lot of importance to your noun, your pronoun, your verb, your adjective, and adverb. Okay? That's what I want to tell you whenever you're reading a passage. Give a lot of emphasis on these because these carry the meaning. Now, these prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, and even articles for that matter, I've not mentioned here, but these three, they're very important. Very important. But when you're speaking, you don't have to emphasize on that. I'm at the table. I am near that laptop. I'm sitting by the laptop. Not necessary. I'm sitting by the laptop. I'm right here next. My mobile is right next to me. I'm watching this. Okay, so when you're trying to say near, at, in, on, under, over, across, that's preposition. Preposition. Position of something in relation to something else. Position. We have preparatory, prepone, preparation, so all before the actual thing. So in connection with something else. In, on, at, over, under, across, by, off. Okay, all these are prepositions. So you don't have to give so much of emphasis to them. Now comes to conjunction. It joins two words, phrases, or sentences. And, on, and, so, therefore, because, so, henceforth, either, or, neither, nor, all these are conjunctions. Now, again, they do not carry much meaning when you're reading a passage. When you're reading a passage. Now, this, I see, please make yourself very clear. All this grammar that I'm trying to tell you or share with you is to let you know that this is in sync with your passage in terms of your listening in terms of your speech. Okay, but we have to go more in depth. Of course, you have to get your prepositions right, you have to get your conjunctions right, you have to get your articles correctly. You need to get them right. But when it comes to speech, you don't have to emphasize on this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You need to emphasize on nouns, pronouns, adverbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Okay. Now, interjection or exclamatory sentences are nothing but sentences where you exclaim suddenly. Oh, wow. Oh, really? So sad, So I'm like, we are living in such a world where we don't feel happy for any other person's achievements. Why? Because we've always been brought up in a society where we are compared to the others. The other person is better. All the time, other person is better. Even married people, the other woman's husband is better. No matter what your husband will give you, other woman's husband, they are the best. Okay, now you're all not in that stage. You're all in the girlfriend boyfriend stage. Okay, that girl. Oh, she's very nice. She's so rich, but she loves me like anything. She gives me all the gift. Here we have a girl who will be like, oh, that guy is the best guy. He's the one. So we always are comparing. We're always comparing ourselves to the others. Very sad. So let's stop doing it to ourselves and to the next generation or the people around us. Let's not compare. Let's just compare our growth to ourselves. Let us be competitors for ourselves. Yesterday I was not able to do this. Today I'm able to do this. Okay, let me not see which phone he has got or which phone that person has got or which car is he going in. Not necessary, not really necessary. Just stay within your means. Feel happy, acknowledge, appreciate, and grow from within, not externally to internally, because the knowledge that you're getting and the strength that you gain from internal benefit is amazing. So it's called as joyful living. When you're feeling happy, the others will feel happy. But today anybody buys another phone, I also want it. I want that position. I want that job. No, just be happy. Just be happy. Everything will come to you when the time is right. And God has charted out everything for everybody at the right time. So no point running out behind it. Now your time is to learn. You're given a job, do that 100%. You're supposed to sleep well. You're supposed to eat, enjoy your food. You're supposed to walk with consciousness. Okay, but we're all multitasking. We watch the mobile phone, we are listening to music, we are walking. When the lorry is coming on honking, you'll not even know there you are flat. And the end. Okay, so it's no point having something and not being aware. Just be aware and enjoy every moment, because that's what makes your future. Okay, I'll tell you another one beautiful story. Okay, as you all know that I'm sharing this personal. Okay, it's a personal note I'm sharing with you. Somebody asked me, ma'am, you're from Bangalore. How come you're in Bhubaneswar? So I told, I've come here to pursue my dancing, and this is just to, support myself and all that. So they said, no, you're a very good trainer. You must try going to the metro cities, and you should be one of those best, this thing. So I said, oh, and you'll get a lot of money. I said, okay, so what to do with a lot of money? They said, no, you can have a better life. I said, okay, well, having a better life, what? You're happy. I said, okay, that I'm happy here now. You know what I mean to say? So what determines your state of happiness? Whether money or your state of living, your quality of living. You're enjoying life. You're able to, hear the birds chirp. You're able to watch the sky. You're able to, breathe in. Of course, today you can't breathe, but I'm trying to tell you what a time we have. We've got, we've got all the time in the world, and we're so told not to breathe, not to watch the sky, not to go out. I mean, like, so ironical it is. But anyways, I'm just trying to tell you that just be with yourself. All the people that we are surrounded with do nothing but compare. But you know your strength, and let nobody judge you. And even if somebody judges you, that you should not prove them right. Okay, it's none of your job to prove them right or wrong. If somebody says, oh, you're bad, you're bad in something, you don't have to prove him right by proving, yes, I can't do it. No, you do what you're supposed to do, and be happy with that. If you're supposed to do something, you can't, just be open and say, I don't know if I can do it. But be honest to yourself. At least make an effort. As I said earlier, terrible effort is better than no effort. So always make sure that you're giving in your best effort. Give 100%. Don't do it for the sake of doing it. Okay, that's another thing. Great. So here we have learned noun, common noun, proper noun, abstract noun, and collective noun. Common noun, anything in common that you can see. Proper. Common noun is nothing but road, country, student, trainer, computer. Proper noun, MG Road, India, student like Bismita or Sai, trainer like Sindhu. So, one particular name of a particular flower, rose. Abstract noun. Abstract means something that cannot be defined, but it's there, like an act, like kindness, cruelty, uh, love, hate. All these are feelings and emotions which are so abstract. For some, it is love. The other, it could be killing. Some people say, love kills. So true. Somebody loves you so much that you can't bear it anymore. You're like, oh, your love is killing me. So, what is love? It's different for different people. What is hate? Again, different. What is kindness? Different for different people. Collective. Anything that we talk in collection, like a bunch of grapes, a bunch of keys, or a flock of birds, a fleet of stairs, a fleet of ships, flight of stairs. All these are collective nouns. As I was telling you, pronoun, I'm just going to recap on first person singular. I, me, my, mine, egoistic, more egoistic, me, my father, my grandfather, this village, and all that. When you where only you're talking about yourself, you'll have no people after 2 minutes. Okay, so plural, more on a leadership building. We, us, our, ours, ourselves, ourselves. Let's try this. Come on, let's do this. Yeah, we can do it. We can achieve it. These are management good phrase. Second person singular, you, yours, yourself, plural, yourselves. It's the same except for yourselves. That's not plural. Third person singular, what we usually do is when we gossip about a third person who we don't even know and will never meet probably, or which would not affect us in any which way. So why bother? He, she, it, him, her, himself. You can also use this and that here. Plural, they, those, their, them, theirs, themselves, themselves. Verb, an action, adjective. That's something that describes a noun. Adverb usually ends with ly, not necessarily. Describes a noun, a pronoun, verb, adjective, or another. Describes a noun, verb, adjective, or another adverb. Then we have prepositions, which are nothing but an object in relation to something else. In, on, at, over, under, across. Conjunctions joins to phrases, words, or sentences. And, so, there, therefore, hence, either or, neither nor, interjection. Oh, wow, yes, okay, fantastic, superb. Okay, so out of all this, we have understood that we need to emphasize on noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, and adverb when we're reading a sentence. It's very important. Yes, do you have any questions to ask anybody? Anybody wants to ask me any questions? Now you understand how you'll read a passage. When you're going to read a passage, is it possible that on Wednesday you will get the passage in which you will write learning to say no and underline these words and highlight the words which are nouns and probably practice it or send a voicemail or say it in the next class? Is that asking for too much or is it okay? I want to do that one class and probably proceed with the rest of the sessions in a formal manner. Yes, is that okay? Prayasi, Sai.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sai, is that okay? Can you read a passage after you do the word? Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. Hello.
Okay. So
Hello.
you can do that. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Bismita, any doubts you have, dear, here in this class, today's class?
Oh, no, ma'am. Doubts.
Clear? It's fun. That today I didn't ask you all to speak much. I thought in the next class you guys do the talking or the reading, and I'll be able to just. So I hope this grammar funda is a little clear for you. I've just given in context to reading paragraph, and the paragraph reading is important to your listening skills, and your listening skill is directly linked to the way you speak. So if your reading improves, your listening improves. If your listening improves, your speaking improves. The funda is very simple. Okay, so the passage, please underline these, not underline these prepositions, conjunction, and articles also, and highlight this. Every time you have a word, please put a dot on top of the letter, first word of the letter. Now this will emphasize because it will help you to remove your mother tongue. Not every word will have the first intonation, but most of the words will have intonation. If it is a two-syllable word, the intonation is in the first letter or the first syllable. But again, because to remove the influence of the mother tongue, we are going to do this practice so that your English speaking is almost neutral. Otherwise, this is my pen, you'll stress on the last letter. So instead of this is my pen. So that change, that shift will happen with this easy tips that I've given you. Tomorrow is Tuesday. You don't have my class. Please take half an hour tonight to do this work. Okay? So even a bad outcome is better than no outcome. So you need to share the knowledge that you've got. Whatever knowledge you've got, record it to yourself. Share it with somebody who you know. Oh, this is the thing. Whatever you know, then you'll be able to get more doubts. You'll have more clarity in your fundas. If you're going to just keep it with you, you wouldn't know it. Then when I'll give you more information, it will just overflow and spill and will be a waste. So empty your cup and come so that I'll be able to pour more and you'll be more receptive. Not only me, in terms of life, anything you want to do. First empty your brain. Now your brain has got so much of stuff that it is heavy personally, professionally, in terms of a student. Okay, so empty it with whatever way you can. Write it. Maybe the best form is to do is writing. If you have no one to talk to, write it. So that when you get more, okay, today I learned this, I learned this, I learned this. Okay, enough. Make it a habit. But please do make a habit to write every day. Write a diary. Keep a diary. Your English will improve. Believe me or not, every day. Every day, just write whatever happened from morning to evening, good, bad, nice, bad, whatever. But you need to give a little time for yourself. And the diary, when you look after 10 years, and always mention the date and the day and the place. Believe me or not, whenever you see and look back, the diary has a great impact. That's what I do. I keep writing and I keep forgetting where the diary is, but suddenly I'll see, oh my God, this is what happened in my life. So you'll feel good when you look back. Great. With that, I'll call it a day. All of you have an enjoyable evening, and thank you so much for being here with me this evening. I have got, I'm just going to call out the names that who attended today's class. Antonia Soreng. Antonia is a Antonia Soreng. Okay, then I have Bismita, Swarnamai, Prayasi, Tapas, Sai Krishna. No, I have Sai Krishna, I have Prayasi, Swarnamai, Bismita, and Antonia. Yes? Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Welcome. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Bye.